Hi everyone, it's Sunday Soul Search time. My name's Antoinette and I go live every Sunday for around 5 or so minutes. This week, I have decided to row across the Atlantic. And let me tell you how that came about. I've been at a business conference for the whole week, and that may sound really dusty and a little bit boring, except that the lineup of speakers has been truly inspirational. So we kicked off on Thursday morning. I've been there since Tuesday with hanging out with two friends, and that's also quite an amazing kind of bubble to be in. But on Thursday morning, we kicked off with Lord Seb Coe and just his vision for the London Olympics and how he came up with that idea, how he sat down with a small group of people in a pub and said, how about it? How they grabbed that vision and then how they ran with it against all odds, with improbable outcomes, fighting against or competing against massive countries with budget. And then what they produced, like the outcome, the joy for us of hosting something that is deep in the fabric of our society now, that gave people hope and joy and inclusion, the whole shebang. But how about if we tried conversation, and then the team of people that ran with him with that. Amazing. We've listened to Stephen Bartlett, the youngest dragon on CEO, and how that came about, a disenfranchised young person. Hi, Chris. And just again, how, not fitting into the school system doesn't mean that you get to be discarded, that actually what this young man had inside of him was fire, and he had a vision and he was dogged about it, and he just put one foot in front of the other and achieved it. So inspiring. We heard from Mary Portas, who's had a real life pivot, and so as a 60-something-year-old woman, how she has reinvented her life all over again, and her deep understanding that whatever we do, particularly as business owners, particularly if we have platform space, that we have to be conscious that everything we do is about people and planet, and that we need to be fighting tooth and nail to make sure that everything we do, we have this understanding that we are interconnected to people and planet, and that this is not the time to be stockpiling piles of cash, etc., 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 but to always be asking ourselves today, what am I doing for people? What am I doing for the planet? Honestly, at the end of her, I have distilled her message down into something so ineloquent and clumsy there, but so inspiring. But what really got me, was the last set of speakers, and they call themselves Four Mums in a Boat. And you may have heard their story already, but they were four middle-aged women who, after a couple of glasses of wine in the pub together, said, how about we think about rowing across the Atlantic? And pretty much 3 years later, they did it. And not because they were anyone special, in their own words, but they had this massive vision, which everyone said is impossible, improbable. You shouldn't be doing it. What about your kids? What about your hobbies? What about your jobs? And they did it anyway. They did it 1 foot at a time, 1 step at a time. They broke it down. One of their defining, I'll pop the quote because I've forgotten it already in my kind of blurb, but they basically said they put self aside. And every time they entered that boat, they said, I am not looking out for myself. Instead, I'm going to look out for the other 3 women. And they said that was quite different to what was going on in other people's boats. So while one was busy hurling up over the side with seasickness, they weren't having to worry about themselves because 3 other women doggedly were. And they cheered each other across 67 days at sea, where they pretty much couldn't see land for the majority of that. Just their commitment to each other, their commitment to this massive idea, this big vision that they'd had. 3 years later, they did it. I was so inspired. So yes, I've decided to row across the Atlantic, but metaphorically, I have my own Atlantic visions, and I left that conference. I think it's so easy in life to be quite minimized by the people around you, to have these things, these big things in your heart that you know you've got to do, whether it's big for you, whether it's small for someone else, however it is, but big for you, that's what counts. And I think the message I took away is to not be minimized by the naysayers, to not be discouraged, by the people who'll say, oh, but what about this? What about that? Oh, you'll never manage it. Oh, that looks very hard. And to remember that if you can see it and believe it, you can do it. You can do it. But not only that, that with the dream team around you, so with a team of people that believe it too, that enable you to cheer each other on, that have expertise in their different ways, that bring their skills to the table, anything is possible. Like literally anything. If 4 mums, middle-aged women, can row across the ocean, then the things I've got in my head are completely possible. So it's really kind of put fire back in my belly, because I'm approaching 50 next year, as many of you know, and I keep thinking I'm just getting so tired, I've got to wind down, but I've still got big things that I want to do. I still want to start a foundation for Sparky kids exiting the care system, and that's still on my heart, and I still need to get that done. And it's just about remembering that actually I don't have to do that alone. I need to look out for my world-class team that are in it, that grab that vision and are going to run with it. I still want the cleaning industry to be completely transformed. And again, it's about a world-class team aligning with me, that believe in it, that believe that the tech that we need to build, which will change and influence so many other cleaning business owners, which will then change lives, which will then allow us to lobby Parliament and change laws, that those things are still really possible. So the question I leave you this Sunday, because I always love a question, is what have you got vision for? Like, what's deep in your soul that you've got vision for and that you can do? And if you've got it, who are your naysayers? Like, who do you need to politely say thank you, but right now in this season, I can't have you in my head? And furthermore, who are the people that grab your vision? Who is your world-class team around you? Is it your group of women that you go away on holiday with? That's some of mine. Is it the people that you work with? Is it a family member? Is it the women or, somebody, I keep saying women because everybody watches it, but is it people that you go and play rugby with, sports with, go on a walk with? I don't know. Who is your world-class team that is going to help you champion your way towards this vision? Look out for them. It's never too late to achieve your vision. It's never too late to dream big. If a 6-year-old, if middle-aged women can, if people even older than that can change life, set off, pivot, and change the world, then any one of us can too. I'm so sorry that that's been rambly. This is just like this fire in my brain and I can't quite nail it down properly today, but it's a good feeling to polish up those visions, to polish up those dreams and think, right, step 1 tomorrow, tiny step, but I'm going to take it. So here's to a great week. Here's to following our dreams and not letting go of them. Here's to great people around you who believe in it and believe in you too. Go grab that vision. Have a great week all.